What's up, y'all? How you guys doing? This is gonna be your review for RuPaul's Drag Race season 12, episode 3. Forgot we did the first two episodes. Split in half. So we started this episode with the two groups sort of clash. You had group one and group two. And yes, I miscounted last week. Thank you for correcting me. It was 7 girls in the first group, 6 girls in the second group. Thank you. So what I thought was very interesting is group one, who I was more impressed with group one than group two. But again, I'm open to it. It's still early. We'll see where it ends up. But group one kept things very, very hush hush. They kept a united front. They didn't give group two more than they needed. Now, that doesn't mean that when the cameras were off, people weren't gossiping and talking. I'm sure they were, because you had people in group one and group two who already knew each other. So I'm sure they spilled tea and all that good stuff. But on camera, they kept a united front. They were like, so did y'all have any problems, any conflicts? And they were like, no, we got along fine. And y'all know they Widow, and they had that little Brita Widow thing with the choreography and all of that. But the other team let them know that they had some conflicts, right? Interesting. Um, but anyway, so we start off, that was that little thing. So then we come back and Rue comes out and we immediately Rue throws shade, honey. She has Widow and Jada, who won the first two challenges from week 1 and week 2, and he asked them to line up the opposite group that they were in and line them up by top to bottom. So when Widow lined up his group, he had, hold on, I wrote it down, child. You know I gotta write these. There's too many queens, I can't keep up yet, so I had to write it down. Okay. He had Sherry at the top, Aiden at the bottom. Well, I would agree with that. Jaden lined up Gigi at the top, Heidi at the bottom. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I like Heidi, but based on week 1, I wasn't so much disagreeing with that either. Now, when asked for explanations as to why they chose what they chose, Widow said, look, when we were talking and we were all getting to know each other, Aiden just gave me the least. Like, I didn't really get a chance to know Aiden. Aiden didn't really open up, whatever. Jada said that, I want to say, and I don't want to put words in Jada's mouth, but I want to say that Jada sort of said, based on information, that feedback and all of that. So that tells me people was gossiping. But of course, Aiden and Heidi were both irritated as hell to be at the bottom, and they were kind of like, oh, really though? So, but Rue added a little twist, because again, there's a little shade in that. But then Rue twisted and said, okay, well, the last shall be first and the first shall be last. So Aiden and Heidi, you will be the other 2 team captains. So there are 4 teams for this challenge, and they're 4 team captains. This is an improv challenge. They are doing the world's worst or whatever, like the opposite of American Idol, or really the opposite of America's Got Talent. Instead of having the best talent, you had the worst talent, and each of the groups had like a talent, and of course they had to sort of ad lib and go along with it. Ross, Shakira, not Shakira, I keep wanting to call that woman Shakira, and I know that she's not Shakira. Chiro, the Uchi Coochie lady. She was the judge, and then they had somebody in a mask. It didn't sound like it was Rue. I don't know. It was probably somebody off the pit crew in a mask that they put up on stage shot. I don't know. And they sort of were improvising with the queens and stuff like that. So, let's talk about the groups. So, we had Widow picked Nikki and Crystal in her group. Heidi had Gigi and Jackie. Jada had Jan, Dahlia, Rock'em Sock'em. Yeah, Rock'em Sock'em. And then Aiden had Sherry and Britta. Now, Aiden, Sherry, and Britta were 3 girls, 1 brain. Jada's group they were fruit. They were all part of the LGBTQ. And so they were gay fruit. Get it? And then Widow, they were the 3 scouts or something like that. And they were like, old Girl Scouts or something. I don't know. I didn't really get it. I didn't really get it. So let's talk about it a little bit. Aiden with her team. Britta and Sherry absolutely took over her team. They took over the whole how they were going to do it, the whole because they had the three girls, one brain, they had to all talk the same. So what they did, which was actually smart, it was annoying as hell, but it was smart. They slowed down the conversation so that they could stay. They were like, hello, we're the three. Because that way it wouldn't be, you wouldn't, because the idea was that they had to talk alike. Anyway, but it was very evident from the very beginning that Aiden sort of gave over the competition to, Britta and them to sort of decide who, they were going to, who was going to be in charge of whatever. And that came back to bite her in the butt. Y'all know how these team challenges work. Now, Rock'em Sock'em, that's how I got to remember her name. Rock'em Sock'em Robot, that's how I got to remember her name. She was the last to be chosen. Now, we already know that she's got issues. We already know that she's a little self-conscious. And so that obviously that didn't make her feel good that she was the last one standing. But we'll get there, child. Jada, with her team, Jada and Rock'em were fighting over being the bad apple, because the apple was like, the whole skit was like they were all fruit, they were once together, and then there was a bad apple, and of course Jada wanted to play the bad apple. Rock'em tried to play the bad apple, saying, well, I have to try to show a different side, and that would be perfect for me to do. And Jada was like, yeah, but that's not gonna happen. And I give Rock'em credit. She tried to put her foot down and tried to be like, no, I want that part. But by the time she did it, Jada was like, well, first of all, you're not going to get it because I'm the team captain and I make the decision. But second of all, you waited too long. And she did kind of wait. But I understand. But I give her credit for trying. But Jada wasn't letting go of that. And then Dahlia was like the broccoli. And I guess they were supposed to be able to make some jokes off of the broccoli part of it. Heidi's team, Heidi, Gigi, and Jackie, they were... I forgot what their whole shtick was, but they were all old. And Heidi played like, Gigi was the only one that had improv experience, and so Gigi sort of, or was it Jackie? Oh shit, one of them had improv experience, but theirs was hilarious. They went first, and they were hilarious. Heidi stole the show, honey. Heidi stole the show, and one of them played. They did the whole Weekend at Bernie's thing where she was really dead. Like the whole time they were pretending like she wasn't dead, but she played dead good. Was very limp, and they had to keep like they put sunglasses on her, and they were making her talk and everything. It was funny. Theirs was the only skit that actually made me laugh out loud. Like I was cracking up watching them. They were funny. Widow, Nikki, and Crystal, like I said, they were like Girl Scouts, but they were like, one was drunk, one was like a sexy vixen, and one was something else. Nikki was upset because they made her like the vixen, and she was like, I don't want to play sexy because they already kind of see me as that. The look queen, the sex, I wanted to do the drunk one. But of course, Widow was like, yeah, no, I got that. But I think both of them, now this was fine for the first challenge and all that good stuff, but both of them are going to have to go against the grain and come out of whatever the stereotype is. Because Widow, that was easy for you too. It was easy for you to play the drunk. And she did a good job of it. She did great. The worst team to me was the fruit team. Dahlia, poor baby. She's so pretty, but she's so empty. She wasn't really given a lot in that challenge. She was playing up the vixen. She was playing up the pretty. And she was missing cues when they were trying to throw jokes at her. She was missing, because it's ad-lib. So, and Ross, Ross is great at this. So Ross kept throwing jokes at her and she just wasn't catching them. They were falling flat. The whole thing about her being a broccoli, they were like, what, are you really a fruit? And she couldn't hang. It was obvious that she really was one of the weakest links. Aiden actually did pretty decent on his team, but they carried him. Now, that team annoyed me, although if you want to talk about the worst talent, they really were the worst talent. But they did pretty decent at the end. So that's how that went. Olivia Munn was the guest judge on the main stage. And the category was buttons and bows. Now, look. Y'all know this. I'm not the reviewer with all the pictures and all of that. Y'all know y'all not getting all that from me. Go, you know, my girl Abby be giving y'all the pictures, but let me just go on through these looks. Jada, all I wrote was pink for Jada. Now y'all know Jada can make her own clothes. It was a beautifully made outfit, but it was, honey, it was pink. Dahlia, I had bows and it was purple. She had a lot of bows. Rock'em Sock'em, she had the big bow in the hair thing going, big bow thingy. Jan, hers was cute. Hers looked like a giant doll, like an old fashioned doll that's like hand stitched, like a handmade doll, and you could actually see the stitches. Very reminiscent. Now we're starting to see this a couple of times, but the whole, you know, you could see like inside out look. You know what I mean? Where you could see the stitches and all of that. But she did really good. That hers was cute. It was, again, that's the second week in a row that Jan sort of didn't give you what you thought you were gonna get as far as like staying within the mainstream. Last week she did it with the tulle. This week she did it with the bows. Heidi did cute. She did a whole Pinocchio thing, and we found out on the main stage that it's sort of an inside joke because in high school she ran track, but she had long hair. They thought she was a girl, and he was like, "But I'm a boy, I'm a boy." And so he said it turned into like a big joke about her being a boy, him being, y'all know what I'm saying. But I thought it was cute. She had the nose and everything. I thought it was cute. Gigi, hers was sickening. She had these orange buttons. Remember, Gigi is the one that can sew as well. Her mom does. And the suit was orange with all of these buttons. She said the thing was probably the heaviest thing she ever worn. She said she could barely lift her arm. But baby, she did that. Now her outfit was sick. Jackie Cox. She, to me, looked like Pearl from Hee Haw. But it was very reminiscent of a group of people at the turn of group of women in the 1800s in Europe. They said the name. I don't know. But I wrote Pearl from Hee Haw. Widow did a whole clown thing with the, you know, had the buttons and had a whole clown look. Crystal Meth had a pink like baby doll dress. Nikki Doll, kind of Cinderella with the sheer. What I loved about hers was she had this big disc on the side. It was almost like a hat, but it was covered with hair, so it was like a hair hat thing working. But it was beautiful. Nikki Doll looked beautiful. Aiden was my least favorite. I know y'all think I be giving Aiden a hard time, but I'm sorry. Aiden was my least favorite. Aiden had sort of like a baby doll dress. What I did think was cute was Aiden had like the buttons all in his hair, and I did think that was kind of cute. Britta, I didn't like Britta's outfit. Britta's outfit reminded me of the Wicked Witch and the Wiz. It was like that dress. Like, I didn't like Britta's dress. It didn't do it for me. And then Sherry Pie, she had button glasses. I didn't like her outfit either. I wrote ugly, so I didn't like her outfit either. So the tops, your tops were Heidi and Jackie. Your bottom, and Sherry. Your bottoms were Crystal, Nikki, and Dahlia. They had the lip sync problem by Ariana Grande and Iggy Azalea. Didn't really know it too much. Now, some of the criticism. Nikki was in the bottom more so from her performance than her look. They loved her look, but they weren't impressed with her performance. Dahlia, same thing. Did not like her performance at all. Crystal, they're having issues with Crystal's makeup. And I'm going to be honest with you. I could have told you that. I think I might have even said that in my first review, that it was cute, but she cannot be a one-trick pony. They're going to get her. It's that whole clown makeup thing. And like they were saying that they even compared her to Rock'em Sock'em, when they were like that Rock'em Sock'em, even though she does the whole anime thing, for the challenge, she did something different. Whereas crystal meth didn't. And so then they got into this whole thing. You know what? Then she immediately starts crying and gets into this whole thing about using it as her mask and hiding behind the makeup. And I was like, I can't do this with you, because I feel like you would have never said all of that had they not called you out for your makeup. But whatever. It was ironic that Heidi was in the top, because remember, Jada said that she thought Heidi was one of the bottoms, and she was safe. The other person they put in the bottom was Aiden, and Aiden was safe, even though Britta was ready to throw Aiden all the way under the bus. Had they been at the bottom, Britta was gonna give it to Aiden, because when they were getting dressed and getting ready to go, Britta and Sherry both let her know, you did not cover your team, you did not carry your team, you were not a good leader, you did not do. I said, oh, they setting her up for the okie doke. So Aiden, you better be lucky that y'all were not in the bottom, because baby, they was ready. They had the bulldozer in reverse, and they was ready to give it to you, boo. Heidi was in the top. They thought Heidi stole the show. They really liked her Pinocchio look. They were not overly critical of her look. They thought she did great. Everybody, and even the girls, when they were backstage, if you look at Untucked, even the girls backstage were impressed with Heidi. They said she is a scene stealer. She is talented, and that she is one to watch. And then they started talking about how her makeup isn't as polished. But Britta said, yeah, but you know what? That you can fix. Talent, you can't buy that. Her makeup, somebody can fix that. Somebody can help her do her makeup. Somebody can give her the tips that she needs to get over the hump with her makeup. But that talent that she has, that's unmatched. So Heidi, I'm going to say this, and I know that the competition is over. We already at the finale, child. But I mean, let's just pretend for a minute that we ain't there. Heidi, I hope you don't get in your own head, because it sounds like you need to just pay attention to what other people are doing in the workroom in front of that mirror, take some tips, learn some things, but the talent is there, and everybody has noticed that. So what I see a lot of times with the queens who don't always have the look is that they get in their own head at a certain point. So, came down to the lip sync. It was Dahlia and Nikki. I already knew that they wasn't going to let Nikki go that early. I knew Nikki wasn't going nowhere. However, Nikki did a better job of the lip sync. Neither lip sync wowed me, let me be clear. Neither lip sync blew me out the water. However, Dahlia, there was a point where you didn't know the words, boo-boo. It was the rap part. The part where Iggy Azalea was rapping. You got caught up in the words. You know how the camera would show when they messed up with the lyrics. And you were messing up with the lyrics, boo. How you can't keep up with Iggy Azalea's rap? I'm just saying. We did find out that Dahlia has a twin brother, and his twin is also gay, and his twin is actually wanting to get into drag. That's what we found out. That is it, y'all. Dahlia goes home. Nikki, Shantae, you stay. And we pick up next week. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.